Hogmanay is a time of the year where our rituals and traditions really come alive in Scotland. As in any country, these practices come and go as years progress, but Scotland still holds a number of New Year's traditions that go back generations. The old custom of first footing, for instance, is very much still alive, and families still send their eldest child to be first into the neighbour's house. Another lucky ritual was bringing a lump of coal for each house you entered. However, traditions such as these certainly aren't limited to one part of the year. Outside St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, another ritual has survived the test of time. The bricks that mark the site of the old Tollcross jail lead visitors to the heart of Midlothian, and might give them a clue as to why this mural is at the centre of one of the country's strangest traditions.
And Sir Walter Scott wrote a book called The Heart of Midlothian, and this plaque here was put here to remind us that this was the heart of Midlothian, the centre of the city. And there's a lot of traditions around the heart of Midlothian, the idea of we spit in the centre of it. One of the myths is that goes back to when it was a tax office, so people spat on the tax office. At the time of the plague, if you had the plague, you had a very dry mouth, so the idea that you were able to spit on the heart of Midlothian meant that you were healthy, so that was lucky. There's a lot of visitors do it, they hear the myths and they want to do it just a bit of luck. Of course, what you have to be very careful of is what way the wind's blowing. The wind blows a lot here in Edinburgh, so very careful when you spit what way the wind's blowing. But I think the Royal Mile just gives that, there's no other city, I think, in Europe that gives you this feeling of being in a medieval city, quite like the Royal Mile. And so there's always myths and legends about there's a lovely one about the ghostly piper that's under the Royal Mile. And he plays He's Lost There Forever, that there's a tunnel that runs from the castle all the way down to the palace. Of course that's very much a myth and a legend, but people still like to hear those things, and it gives us a real feel of our history, a real feel of our identity, I think, here in Edinburgh.
In some places, history is kept alive through rituals and events to instil a sense of pride within the local community. Newton Grange in Midlothian is one such place. Although the colliery and the workers are long gone, their heritage and traditions live on in this close-knit ex-mining community. Nowhere can these be seen more than at the Dean Tavern. Run under the Gothenburg system, where all profits go to the local community, this old miners' pub has remained a focal point for locals. The ritual of taking your eldest son for his first pint in the Dean was practised by workers in the local mine, and it still carries on to this day. The pub also plays a big part in the funding and organising of the local gala day, which has taken place since 1913. All over Scotland, local communities continue to uphold their own rituals and social practices. In the borders town of Galashiels, a tradition going back 90 years is still practised and celebrated to this day. Every summer, locals line the streets to witness this fascinating spectacle. Their roots go back to the very founding of the town itself. The Galashiels Common Ridings Festival. Over 70 horses can ride through the streets every summer, and the ridings form an important part of the week-long Braw Lads Festival, where every year one local lad will ride out of town with the borough flag. He will then lead a procession of riders towards the Red Stane, where in 1337 local people led a bloody rebellion against English raiders. The ridings, and the Braw Lads Week in general, continue to prove popular with Gala residents, and it remains one of the biggest nights of the year, with pubs packed well into the night. We want to hear from you. ICH Scotland have set up their own easy-to-use wiki site that will be used to document examples of Scotland's cultural heritage. If you can think of any examples of your own, or if you'd like further information on the traditions featured in this video, please log on to www.ichscotlandwiki.org.